and welcome along and welcome back to Haut Beyleron. Today we are going to be taking on some harvest. I'm trying to maneuver myself around for these tomatoes. I managed to push that first crate a bit into the wrong direction, never mind. But yes, we are going to be doing some harvest. We've got a small harvest contract come up. I had to jury rig the contract system a little bit, so I'm finding if you want a harvest contract right now, what you have to do is fast forward yourself through to midnight and then try and grab any harvest contracts that appear at midnight. After that, they sort of disappear and you have a lot of trouble trying to actually get one and do one. So yeah, we've managed to pick up a harvest contract. It is the only harvest contract available. It's a small one. It's worth 1,316. But if we look at the details on here, it's worth nearly 2,000. More than that, all of this is going into the old grain mill. And the old grain mill, of course, is our production facility. It's the one on our farm. So all of this is going to go into our grain mill, which in turn makes flour for us, which in turn makes bread for us. So we are going to well, this contract is actually worth more to us beyond just the actual contract itself. We are able to take any grain that comes off this, any wheat that comes off this, and put it into our old grain mill and make money out of that. However, as this is a fairly small contract, at the moment, I am just loading up the 3 crates of tomatoes we've got, getting them down to the shop and getting a little bit more cash in for those. So we're going to plop this down here and do that. I don't think eggs-wise we have anything yet. We might have a crate. Nope, we are still working on the eggs. Plenty of food in there, still 315 litres of food in there. And actually what we can do is we can get some of the wheat from this contract and dump it in here as well. Use that to feed the chickens a bit as well. Which is basically, yeah, free wheat for us to do that with. So it's all good. It's looking fairly rosy today with what we have. But yeah, I want to get the tomatoes out of the way. I want to get the bread out of the way as well. And then later on, we will start loading up. Well, I don't know how quickly after getting this running again, we will find that we get flour out. But all in all, this should work out fairly well for us. So I'm going to get this down to the farm shop. And we can go and get some money for our tomatoes. You can see up the very top there the field we're doing. Field 1 is the only field that is currently ripe on the map. As a result, what we're probably going to end up doing is, like we did to get to here, we will end up skipping a day and going straight to July, seeing if we can pick up some more contracts, seeing if we can get some more stuff into our windmill, and just generally trying to raise a bit of extra money. It also means that each of these days we need to do this transport and get these products unloaded. There we go. A nice 1,405 plus an £84 boost. So just under 2k for that. So that's brilliant. We're going to head down to the bakery next, load up with any bread we've got down there and get that cleared out as well. As we've got sunflowers planted on our farm this year, it's actually fairly important for us to get any contracts we can with wheat or barley or oats. If we can get those, then that is going to make a big difference to keeping our bakery supplied. Let's load up the bread like so. That's pretty good. And yeah, we'll get this up to the farm shop as well. But yes, it's going to be fairly important for us to find some contracts, especially those that are delivering to the old grain mill. That is going to make a massive difference to us in keeping things running on our farm. And I'm actually quite happy that the first contract we've managed to grab this year is going to be one that will feed into that as well. That will keep us going for a little while. Unfortunately, due to the bug with the contracts at the moment, though, I am going to have to try and grab them at midnight and make sure that we are able to grab as many of them to keep us going for 2 days as we can. I don't want to be limiting myself to other types of contracts if I can. There we go, 2,669 for those with 160 environmental bonus. Fantastic. That's actually a really good amount of money every couple of days coming in from these products. I am very, very happy with that. So next we are headed down to the shop, and I can see waiting down there for us is a combine. And what tractor have we got? Oh, we've got another Kubota. I've got so many Kubotas since the DLC came out. It's wonderful. Pretty much every tractor I've had to use on a contract has been some form of Kubota. It's not a Kubota, it's a Zetor. I misidentified it as I'm coming in. Still great. We have a Zetor ourselves on the farm. So we've got a nice little Rostelmash combine here. That'll be very useful. We've got a header for it, the Power Stream header, a header trailer, a little Zetor tractor, and the Welga trailer. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use some hired workers for this and get some of this up to the field straight away. We can do this fairly easily using Follow Me, but to be perfectly honest, it's just as easy to use the hired workers, especially on a map like this. Base game maps work very well for the hired workers. So we're going to take that. We're going to set destination. We are going to head up to here. We're doing field 1. So I'm just going to put it there next to field 1. And that should do it. Off you go. Right. And then we want to get the header on the header trailer. And I think we should be all right hooking this. Yes, this should hook up to this combine. So we'll be all right with that. This combine would be a little bit small for us on our farm. I would like very much to grab a combine, but I think we're going to want something more along the size of a New Holland 770. I think would be a better one for us. Is that going to... Yeah, there we go. That's on the trailer. Let's just have a look in the shop. In fact, oh wow, there's a Tryon in here. That would be perfect for our farm. Unfortunately, it's £222,000. But yeah, that would be an absolutely perfect combine for us. There's also a T6 here. However, I think if I take that up to the power I'd need, which is its top end, a 175... yeah, that's 70,000. So neither of those at the moment, unfortunately, are affordable. Both would be good additions to our farm if we could afford it, but it's not possible, unfortunately. Right, let's hook up this. And that doesn't want to hook up those. And I want to send this back to our farm. We've no need to keep this down here. We're going to end up finishing at our farm anyway, seeing as that's where the old grain mill is. So let's take a look at that. And I want to set destination for that to be at home. Let's see if I can get it in the right place. Like that. Right, so that is headed off, and we can get our little Rostelmash combine into forwards, and yeah, we'll head off and catch up with the tractor. Doing some quick calculations on the way up here, and I think we're going to get about 12,000 litres of flour off this field. And as a result, that should give us a really nice amount of bread off here as well. It's going to be a nice little top up more than anything else. Now, we have spent, 160 on wage payment. That was to get our truck back and our tractor over here. Let's bring this to here, and then we can disconnect this trailer. Bring this round, and yeah, we're facing the wrong way to get into the field, but that should be fine. I turn my lights off. Plenty of space up here to extend this field if you bought it. I think my only issue with some of the fields on this map is this would be an awesome little starting area. Field 1 would be fantastic, and along with Field 2. But if you come to purchase this area, what you find is that Field 1 encompasses all of this land. And as a result, it's 267 for such a small field. Yes, you can expand the field if you want, but in comparison to Field 2, which is only 87,000, it's quite a jump. And like here, Field 7 here is a tiny part of this 314,000 piece of land. It's a little bit annoying, really. Right, let's connect that up, connect those up, switch over to our combine, unfold the combine, start her up, and away we go. And yes, we do have GPS on this combine, and I don't think we want to drop straw on this. There we go. There we are. Yeah, we can't pick up the straw, so there is no point in us dropping it. There's enough space at the top end of this field where I think we can get away with maybe only doing a couple of headlands. I think that will probably work out fairly well for us. We're already 10% of the way through the field, and we've only done half of the field so far. Maybe 2/3 at this point, because we've done both ends. But it's, there's not a huge amount of work here. It's quite nice to have this little bit of a top up going through our production chains. And as I said earlier, I'm more interested in the money that we get with this going through the production chain than the actual contract itself. It will turn, if I get on the right angle here, there we go. It will turn our productions quite nicely. So as I said, we're going to get at least we're probably going to get 1,400 liters out of here. That in turn turns into about 1,200 liters of flour. In doing that, it's actually going to give us a couple of bits out. So 1,200 liters of flour, that in turn, 12,000 liters of flour. That then we can turn into about 6,000 liters of bread. So that's great. So this whole contract in the end, then, selling bread on a regular basis, this whole contract is actually worth wow, really? It is worth what, about £18,000 to us. That's crazy. And that is the power of the production chains in Farming Simulator 22. If you can get a £2,000 pound contract going through one of your production chains the whole way, you can turn that £2,000 into, well, with that on top of what we'll get for the bread, into about £20,000 with the right production chain. That is incredible. We are fairly close to being full, so what I want to do now is stop that there, I think, and we'll get the auger out. Let's stop the actual thresher, and I'll go and grab the tractor and trailer. Yeah, not a very big little Z-Tour this, but fine for this contract. We could have done this with our own tractor. What I really would like to do is have our own combine and be able to do these contracts ourselves. But having a little, you know, this little setup is fine. Right, let's empty that out. Hopefully that goes into the trailer. Yes. Don't need to worry too much. I think about spreading it. I'll spread it fairly well around the middle. This trailer will take at least a couple of loads from this combine. I don't think it's particularly... Yeah, it's not a particularly bad ratio between the two. And that empties our combine out. So let's jump over here. Jump into this. Yeah, 61%. So the combine will fill this up. Just going to park that there. And we'll complete the rest of our headland here. And then we're going to cut in. I have set up the GPS already. So we'll be able to just cut straight into the middle of the field. And I'm looking to do 2 separate cut-ins on here, I think. So I've worked out we've got about 10 rows here, I think. I'm just going to turn the lines on for a minute. And as a result, we want to cut about 3 rows in. Split this section in half. And then we'll do the same on the other end. So in, and yeah, there we are. Perfect. And this should now mean that we get 2 nice separate cut-ins. We're about a quarter of the way through the field. Yeah, that looks about right. And should be nice and neat going forwards. I'm quite pleased with this. This is a nice, tidy little contract. Always like seeing that. The more I reflect on it, the more the early ownership of production chain buildings just seems like a really good idea to me. It is, well, as I said, you go through contracts. You don't have to buy any of the equipment to do the contracts with. You get paid for delivering the crop, and then you turn the crop into your own cash. That's brilliant. That just, as opposed to having to buy all the equipment, to seed everything, to go through and do all of that work. You know, you get paid for all of that work if you do contract stuff. And then, yeah, you deliver it to the place where you then get to process it and deliver it down to your next production chain or sell it from there. And you get a whole load of stuff. That is just absolutely fantastic. So I think as a start from scratch strategy, that's a really good way to go. Put that money into the initial purchase of some production chains, and you can't go far wrong. I think you'll easily make that money back pretty quickly. I mean, if it's 40,000 to buy a to buy the grain mill, for example, invest 40,000 in that, do wheat and barley contracts, and yeah, you will produce grain that you can then produce flour from. So we'll top off this trailer, and then we can go and get it tipped. I'm not going to worry about putting a hired worker on the combine. We have plenty of time left today to get this field finished. And 97, 99, 100. Perfect. So we'll run this down to our farm and the old grain mill. And yeah, we can then start the flour processing. And then by the end of the day, we might have some to transport down to the bakery to get that refilled. I've come a slightly different way back to my farm. There's a service station up here and a load of other bits. This is actually at the back of the forestry area on Haut Beyleron, and an area that I've not done much on. While I'm here actually and talking about forestry stuff, the Platinum Edition or the Platinum Expansion has been announced for Farming Simulator 22. It is Well, it seems to be very logging focused with Volvo coming in, 40 plus new machines. I'm actually quite excited. As somebody who's doing a forestry series on a Friday on Holmacra, I am really looking forward to that coming out. And I think my aim, especially with Holmacra, is going to be that we're going to continue that series on. We'll continue that series until November, until it's released. And then we'll take whatever we've earned from Holmacra and explore the Platinum expansion using that and go from there. I think that is going to be a great way to continue the Forestry Friday stuff and a great way to go with that. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out towards the end of the year. And seeing where we can go with that, with a little bit of money behind us that we've earned through logging in the first place. But now we are back down to our farm, and this is, I think this is the location where we've got to deliver this. Now it's showing the production chain there. What is this? This is the old grain mill. The contract is going to the old grain mill. So yeah, I think this is the right place. We will find out soon enough if it's not, in which case it's going to cost us a lot of money if it isn't. But I don't think there's anywhere else on this map which is marked as, yeah, I think we've got a lot of stuff sitting here. Oh, wow. So I sent the truck back here on a hired worker. Let's get that map out of the way. And hoping that I would get it to park pretty much in its spot. And I'm not far off. That's really good. This, however, is going to be fun because we've now got to reverse a dolly. Now, trick to reversing a dolly in Farm Sim. Come in here, into cab. You've got your third linkage, your upper linkage point there. Try and keep that as straight onto the trailer as possible. And if you line those two things up, so we know where we're sitting in the cab, you know, sort of slightly to the right of it, you can reverse up a dolly really easy. I see, you know, people complain about it all the time. But yeah, that was massively easy to keep that straight enough to get it reversed up to there. And there we go. In goes the grain into our grain mill. In fact, we can go a little bit further back. And we'll see if this then completes any of the contract. Yes, it does. 56% transported. Perfect. So before we head off again, what we'll do is we'll head into our productions. We'll head into our... They've adjusted it. The last update does not put that into my production chain. Oh, no. So, yeah, that has changed it. That's actually slightly annoying. We will have some to put in here, but that's not going to work as it did before. That has been updated and not for the better for us. So that did not at all go according to plan. I was expecting to get a much better payday off this small contract than we've actually got. And yeah, in actual fact, we are we're not going to be quite as well off as I thought we were. Now, I just want to double check before we go into this row. We've got 2 headlands here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is this one. So let's start her up and get back into this. But yeah, I'm not happy with that. I was expecting us to make a lot more of this contract than we actually were, and it nullifies pretty much everything I've said about doing start from scratch with productions, because you're not going to make as much as I would hoped. One thing I do know is that all of the remaining wheat on this field is going to fit in that trailer. We won't need to do more than one more trip. And in fact, we are coming up to 90% full now and 80% complete on this field. So we'll spin the combine around and back in for the next row. But I think we want to probably empty this out before too long. That's it. Straighten up. Don't miss any. And we'll get the auger out ready to unload as we hit 97, 98, 99. And there we go. Complete. Let's get the tractor and trailer and unload this. Not a massive amount left on this field after this. There we go. That should be good. Into there and unload it. And yeah, got it about the same place as I got it last time. Seems to want to be a little bit further over, to be honest. Let's lift the bed up. And yeah, there we go. We'll unload this here. And with that unloaded, we'll start up the thresher. We'll get back on course and we'll put the auger in and away we go. So we've delivered 8,000 litres. We've got another 4,900 litres in the trailer. Along with looking like another 1,000, maybe 2,100. If that's the case, we're looking at nearly 7,000 litres. Yeah, not far off to 2,054. So yeah, just about 7,000 litres that we've got here. In fact, only 50 litres shy of that. Our contract requires another 5,900. So we're going to end up with, yeah, so another 1,000, and we're going to end up with 1,054. So that's going to create about 500 litres worth of flour for us to deliver down to the shop. Or deliver down to our bakery, and from that we'll make about half of that, so we'll make about 250 litres of bread, and from that 250 litres of bread we will make about £1,000 ish. So yeah, not the massive extra amount I was hoping for, not the 20,000 I was expecting overall from this contract. In fact, that's an awful lot less. We're looking at more like about 4,000. To say I'm disappointed is a little bit of an understatement. Wow, first time I do the maths, and it turns out that the last update has nerfed it completely. We've got 6,954 litres in our trailer, and that means we're going to have about 1,000 litres into the into our grain mill, which is ours, which is incredibly annoying considering how much we know we've delivered overall. And as a result, we should make, as I said before, about 500 litres of flour from this. That will give us a new pallet of flour because we've got 600 odd litres of flour waiting to be unloaded. So that will help with that. In goes the wheat. And when we get to about 1,000 litres... bam, that is the point at which the contract finishes, and we get a little bit extra into our grain mill. So let's have a look at this. Yep, we have, was that a barley contract? That was a barley contract by the looks of things. Yeah, there we go. 1,316 with 207 litre cost. So it's only 1,109 that we get for that. So let's collect that contract. And we can then have a look in our production chain and see what we got. So yeah, it was barley. So 1,400 litres of barley we now have in here. A little bit more than I was expecting. So we didn't have to deliver quite as much. And that. So what is the conversion rate for barley? It is a little bit better, I think. That's a really difficult one to work out. But if it was 5 to 4, for that it would be 24. So yeah, it's not quite as good actually. So let's activate that one, and that will then start going as our windmill starts to turn, and we'll start to get some more barley out, or we'll start to get some more flour out of here. How much flour do we have? 668 litres going through there. So yeah, we are we're going to get a little bit of extra flour out of here that we can take down to our bakery and get that going. But that actually, I think, is about it for the farm for today. We are good for our chickens. Yeah, they are all fed rather nicely. We didn't have enough excess to put some in there for the chickens, unfortunately, after the fact that none of it went in other than the excess. So we can't do anything there. Our other bits are running nicely. We've got plenty of water in the greenhouses. We've got plenty of flour down there. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some flour to transport down to the bakery next game day. In fact, we certainly should, because we are going to skip another day and go straight into August next time. For now, though, I'm going to leave this here, which means that all that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.